How's it going, everyone? This is Right Husky, trying something different, again. So ever since the Great Plague, I've been really into collecting Pokemon cards again, and that has all culminated in me finally registering to compete in local tournaments. So I wanted to take a little bit to show you the Palafin EX list I put together, and the one I'm going to be taking into the local tournaments coming up. Because I do believe that this has some potential to go up against in some of the meta decks. I go into a lot of detail on why I have the cards that I have in here, so if you're just here for the gameplay, you can skip ahead to this timestamp, but I do recommend that you listen to it because there's a lot of choices in here that work for me, but may not work for you. Alright, so this is the 6.0 version of something that I've been working on ever since this card came out. So let's check out Palafin EX first. He's got the ability Hero Spirit, which says put this Pokemon into play only with the effect of Palafin's 0 to Hero ability. So what that means is that you need to use this baby Palafin here with the 0 to Hero ability, one of the longest ability descriptions I've ever seen, that says, once during your turn, when this Pokemon moves from the active spot to the bench, you may search your deck for a Palafin EX and switch it with this Pokemon. Any attached cards, damage counters, special conditions, turns in play, and other effects remain on the new Pokemon. If you switch to Pokemon in this way, put this card into your deck, then shuffle your deck. All of that is to say that you can only get Palafin EX into play if you have this baby Palafin in the active spot and switch it out. Essentially, Palafin EX is a superhero that needs to change out of his normie clothes into a superhero outfit. Once he does, he becomes one of the most powerful Stage 1 cards ever printed. So this deck needs a lot of switch cards in order to be good, and would therefore be super inconsistent to get multiple attacks off, right? Wrong. We've got two main allies in here that will get us consistently to hit every turn. Remember that any stipulation that says you can't attack next turn gets reset every time this Pokemon moves to the bench. How do we get it to the bench? With the help of Pecharunt EX. With Subjugating Chains, you may switch one of your benched Dark Pokemon, except Pecharunt EX, into your active spot. If you do, the new active Pokemon is now poisoned. You can only do this once per turn. So we have two Pokemon that can do this for us. One is Morpeko, a nice little single prizer who has the ability to where if there is no energy attached, it has no retreat cost. And the other is Hisuian Sneasler V. It also has no retreat cost, and you can also poison the opponent's active for free if, for whatever reason, you can't get a Palafin out that turn. We play both of them, and the reason why is because we've been seeing things like Gravity Gemstone seeing play, which will affect Hisuian Sneasler, but won't affect Morpeko. Generally, I prefer to have Hisuian Sneasler out, but sometimes it's too risky to have a two-prize liability. This deck is all about being ready for any situation, so we have both to fulfill the same role under different circumstances. So the general loop will be have baby Palafin in the active, use Subjugating Chains to push our Dark-type Retreater into the front, giving our best boy a chance to change into his superhero clothes, and then retreating back into it so we can attack on the same turn. And we have put a lot of consistency cards to make sure that can happen. We play 2 Nest Ball and 2 Buddy-Buddy Poffins. Our goal will be to get our big 3 in play by turn 2, but you want to have at least a Finizen on turn 1. We play 4 Finizens. I prefer the 50 HP one because it has a way to self-evolve if you go second, but I also have one of the 70 HP in case of a Dragapult matchup. One important thing to note is this word right here. Palafin EX is useless when it's in your hand. It has to be played from your deck. So if you're unlucky and your only Palafin is in your hand, we have options to get it out. We play 3 Ionos, which will put Palafin at the bottom of your deck so you can grab it with the ability. But if you feel like your opponent is bricking, we do have an option that is uniquely good for this deck, and that is Dendra, which lets you put a card from your hand to the bottom of the deck and draw until you have 5 cards. This is a terrible card in any other deck, but here it's both a draw supporter and a way to remove junk from your hand. This deck does like to go first, but it is nice that we have options if we have to go second. We play 4 Irida and 2 Arven, which are both super helpful on turn 1 and basically any turn after that. For example, a great turn 1 would be to get an Arven who can grab us a Nest Ball and a Forest Seal Stone. You can then use the Nest Ball to get a Sneasler, and the Stone to grab another Nest Ball, or a Buddy-Buddy Poffin, and you can pretty much have a setup board state for the following turn, and evolve your Finizen to finish off the turn. We only play 1 Ultra Ball because we're mostly going to be relying on Irida to get our baby Palafins. Our deck plays a lot of items, so there will be always something that you need. Whether it's a switch to get Palafin back in front, an Earthen Vessel, a Canceling Cologne, Lost Vacuum, Irida is one of the most important cards in this deck, so we need 4 of them. So those are the most important parts, but you'll notice there's a ton of one-off cards in here, and that's because this deck gives us room to tech for everything. Let me start with the rest of the Pokemon. So like I said, we have 4 Finizens, 3 Palafin EX, and 4 baby Palafins. One of them is this old Justice Kick Palafin. The reason why he's in here is because of Cornerstone Ogerpon. Cornerstone makes it so that Pokemon with abilities can't attack it, which most of our Pokemon do have. It has 210 HP, which makes it a perfect target for our Justice Kick. We also play Canceling Cologne if getting him out is not possible. Also note that Palafin EX and Baby Palafin are considered 2 different cards, so it is possible for us to have 4 of these and 3 of these all in the same deck. Next is Lumineon. It's a great consistency card to have and can be searched with Irida. If we're really down bad and need a boss or an Arven or even another Irida for next turn, Lumineon helps us get that consistency. Next up is Enamorus V. This is the newest addition to the deck, and this is what makes it the 6.0 version of the deck. Dusknoir has become a real problem, and Manaphy and Rapska and Mist Energy can do nothing about it, but Enamorus can. Enamorus has the Guardian of Love ability, which prevents all effects of abilities done to each of your Pokemon that has Psychic Energy attached. But you might be thinking, but we're not using Psychic Pokemon, this is a Palafin deck. I hear you, but this is why we play Luminous Energy. These count as one of each type of energy, so it can be a water and a psychic, thus protecting anything we slap it onto. This is also the reason why I changed my A-Spec to Legacy Energy. It counts as a 5th Luminous, and it has the added perk of denying 1 prize card if the Pokemon it's attached to is knocked out. Now don't get me wrong, Prime Catcher is great in this deck. It can seal up games in clutch moments and has won me a lot of my matches, so if you'd rather use Prime Catcher, by all means, go for it, I understand. But for me, I've been running to Dusknoir after Dusknoir, and it has to stop, and I think this will help with that. Next we've got Munkidori as a heal engine. Since we play Luminous Energy, it also counts as a Dark Energy, which we can use to heal off some damage and help guarantee knockouts on some Pokemon that have more than 250 HP. Fezandipiti is here to be a draw engine. It's also a Dark type, so if we have no other options, we can use Subjugating Chains on it, slap an energy on, and then retreat it if we have to. And lastly, Pecharunt EX is capable of being a late game attacker. It can hit very hard at the end of the game by doing 60 damage for every prize your opponent has taken. I wish I recorded the match where my opponent had 1 prize card remaining and a Charizard EX, and I had a Dark Energy attached to the Pecharunt from the beginning of the match, and managed to slap down a Luminous Energy at the end, and a Defiance Band, and hit it for 330 damage exactly and won the game. It was easily the most beautiful moment I've had with this deck. That's why I have 1 Dark Energy in here. It's not for Munkidori, don't give it to Munkidori. So that's the explanation for the Pokemon that I chose, but I did say that I left a lot of room to fight against many of the meta decks. So let me run through a couple with you here. It's going to get pretty mathy, so bear with me. I'll include some pretty visuals to help explain what I'm talking about. Let's start with what we do very well against. I consider Raging Bolt and Chien-Pao almost an auto win for us. I refer to these as multiplier decks because they do damage for every energy discarded. Chien-Pao does 60, Raging Bolt does 70. But because Palafin is so big and beefy, it takes Chien-Pao 6 energy to knock us out, and Raging Bolt needs 5. So it already takes them a lot of resources to knock out one of our guys, while it takes us only 1 energy to one-shot them. But we do have something to make their math even worse. Rigid Band lowers their attack by 30, so when we have one of these bad boys slapped on, both of these decks need 1 more energy to knock us out. Matter of fact, take a look at this visual here. Same thing applies to Goldengo and Dialga V-Star. But since we can't consistently one-shot those, I'm going to mention those in a different category. Point is, they can take out 1, maybe 2 of our Palafins, but by the time they pull that off, they're likely all out of energy and probably had to use all of their superior energy retrievals to pull off those attacks. We are way too bulky for those cards to do what they want to do to us. I watched one guy slap 6 energy on a Chien-Pao, hit me for 330, and then rage quit because I Turo'd my Palafin right after. Side note, I know that Raging Bolt likes to play Bravery Charm. For that we have Lost Vacuum. Irida is pretty consistent at grabbing that for us. We do pretty well against Gardevoir as well, only because we're so big and beefy that Drifloon, even with a Bravery Charm, misses the knockout by 10. Screamtail with a Bravery Charm also only hits for 280, and everybody knows that these little guys are scared of Vacuum. And we have Munkidori to punish them for getting so close to death. Alright, so next up is our V-Star matchups. Lugia, Regidrago, Giratina, if anyone still plays that, and Dialga all have 280 HP exactly, which is a problem for us because we only do 250 per hit. So we have a couple options in here to bump our damage. The first one I already mentioned is Munkidori, which can take 30 damage from our guy and push it somewhere else. Slap it on the V-Star and hit it for 250 and boom, dead. Or we can go behind on prizes, slap on a Defiance Band to boost our damage by 30 and boom, dead. Or we play 2 copies of Kirin, which both works as a switch, or can do 30 more damage to a V or EX Pokemon. Boom, dead. V-Star decks can be tough, but with these damage modifiers, it definitely helps out our math. Next up, we got the big boys. Let's start with Charizard. He's big. At 330 HP, we would need to use Kirin, Defiance Band, and hit him with a Munkidori in order to one-shot it. So that's mostly out of the question. Instead, what we do have is Charizard's worst nightmare tech in here, and that is TM Devo. Charizard loves its rare candies, and TM Devo will force all Pokemon back to their previous status. So if they evolved it by rare candy, that rare candy's gone. In the grave. It really sets them back, and then they have to dig for more. If you wait to use this till after they got their Pidgeot and maybe even a second Charizard, this can be devastating. Pidgeot also has 280 HP, so what we mentioned before with the V-Stars also applies to Pidgeot. Now Dragapult is a very similar story at 320 HP, except it doesn't really play rare candy as much. They usually do like to evolve into Dracloak, which means sometimes if they're not rushing for that turn 2 hit, you have more time to get yourself set up. And you will want to get set up, because Phantom Dive does 60 damage to a benched Pokemon while doing 200 to the front. That's why we have 170 HP Finizen in there, so at least you'll survive a turn. A previous build did have Rapska in here, which you can do if you find Dragapult is a tough matchup for you. But I found it really hard to consistently get that going, so I just dropped it entirely. Dragapult is a tough matchup for us, but if you can outpace it, it's not unbeatable. Here's a nice little bit of math for you. If you have a Rigid Band on, Dragapult only hits you for 170. If you use Munkidori to move 30 damage off of you, it'll take Dragapult 3 hits to knock you out. Both Dragapult and Charizard have recently liked to play Dusknoir, which is why we have Enamorus in here. These are the matchups where Enamorus will matter. Area 0 Underdepths has become a really popular stadium recently. It's used by Terapagos, Palkia, and Miraidon to get a huge bench going so that their attackers can get big damage numbers. So let's take a look. Terapagos can hit you for a maximum of 240 on a loaded bench, so we can generally deal with that pretty easily. Raikou V, on the other hand, hits us for weakness, so it'll need 8 benched Pokemon in play between the two of us in order to one-shot. Palkia V-Star just barely misses it, needing a full bench on our side as well as a full bench with Area 0 on their side in order to just barely miss us, doing 320 damage. But we don't need to sit around here and take that from them. We have 2 options to counter this. First one is Lost Vacuum, takes away their stadium and forces them back down to 5. They need to discard their benched Pokemon, which can be pretty bad if they don't have a way of getting them back. Our other option is even harsher. Collapse Stadium will force them down to 4 benched Pokemon, which is terrible for them, but not bad at all for us, considering we only need our big 3 in play to make the deck work. Collapse Stadium is great for removing liabilities in play like Lumineon if you needed to bench it for whatever reason. But it's also the worst thing that could happen to decks that need big benches like Miraidon or Terapagos. We do somewhat struggle with Iron Thorns, which shuts off abilities for Rulebox Pokemon, which is a problem because our deck is very reliant on Rulebox Pokemon with abilities. Here's an interesting thing about that though. Iron Thorns does not stop us from evolving. Because the Palafin Zero form is not a Rulebox, you can still move it out of the active and it will still become a Palafin EX. What it does do is turn off our draw engine and our switching engine. For that, we will really need to rely on our Canceling Cologne, our switches, and our Kirins. You'll need to manually switch to your Retreater in order to reset your attack. The good news is that Iron Thorns can't one-shot us, even despite our weakness to lightning. Nor can it one-shot Sneasler or Pecharunt, which does buy us some time to get what we need into play. I've considered putting Enhanced Hammer in here, but I just couldn't find anything I wanted to cut in order to get that going. And that's pretty much all of the major matchups I wanted to cover today. To sum up, we play a total of 8 energies, 4 being Luminous, 1 being Legacy, 2 Water, and 1 Dark. And again, these ones are mostly because of the Pokemon that need 2 energy to hit. So like this baby Palafin would need a Water and a Luminous in order to do its thing. We only play the Earthen Vessel because we can usually find a Luminous energy one way or another. Energy consistency was a problem for me before, but I think with this count we've hit the sweet spot. So that was a lot of yapping and a lot of demonstration, so let's get into some battles and I can show you what this all looks like. How's it going, everyone? Welcome to Game 1, in quotation marks, because the first two that I did were literally donks where I got knocked out on turn 1. So I'm hoping that this time I can get a better demonstration of how this deck works. Rather than drawing into Lumineon. We do like to go first. Let's go ahead and do that. Don't give me Lumineon, please. Or give me nothing, I guess. Oh, great. All right, we're starting with Lumineon. That's perfect. Alrighty. So we are gonna want Finizen. Let's go ahead and get rid of Turo. I would like to have these. Okay. So as long as we don't get Ionoed, we should be okay. Because Irida can grab us our evolved Pokemon, and then we can figure something out from there. He does have a Duskull, so I would like to get Enamorus up at some point, but that's not a priority right now. We got DTE. What else we got? If you go second, you can't go. All right. Buddy-Buddy. Actually, that's perfect. Okay, so let's use that to grab Morpeko and another Finizen. We do have a way of evolving. So now I'm going to... What's the last thing I need? I need a switch. Yeah. I need 2 switches, actually. This is not good. Okay, so let's grab this and a switch. Alright, so I'm going to send my Finizen up to the front. And unfortunately, it's going to be a sacrifice. No more evolution cards. Oh, God. Oh, God. I play 3 of them. Oh, I guess it's in here. All right. You know what? This is okay. We can make this work. I'm on pure copium right now. We'll be alright. We'll be alright. Is it really worth it to play Featherball if your only one is Pidgeot? I guess. Let's see what he's doing. Probably going to grab his Area 0 Underdepths, because that would be the only way that he can get a knockout this turn, I think. Yep. Iono. I'm okay with Iono. I don't like my hand. Fezandipiti, we got Legacy, we got Irida. I actually want him to kill my Lumineon because that would let me put Palafin in the front, and then I can switch it out with no problem. Dude's taking a while. Alright, we got Noctowl. Another one. Another one. Hey, yo, what is this? Like BMing or what are we doing? Alright. Now we got something. We got Blood Moon. And a double turbo. You're using that to retreat. You're going to hit up Terapagos, I'm sure. Is he going to miss the knockout? I think he might. Yeah, so it's 30 times benched Pokemon, so it's going to be 180. It's going to be 160. He's going to just barely miss it. Unless the Vitality Band does 10 more damage. Of course it does. Alright, so he takes the first two prizes. Okay, that's alright. That's alright, we can work with this. I don't want to play the Lost Vacuum just yet. I think so I want to be careful with this as well. Let's figure this out. Yeah, we can make this work. So I'm gonna grab this, and another switch would be perfect. Yep. Let's do that. Evolve you. And then I want Pecharunt. And let's drop Fezandipiti. Let's go ahead and let's legacy this guy. And then let's flip the script. Flibbity to scribbity. I'm not going to bench Munkidori yet. I'm happy with this. So let's go ahead to Subjugating Chains. Zero to hero. We're going to evolve into our hero form. Good. And then we'll smack him for 250. That should drop his bench back down to 5. So he's going to have to discard something. The reason why I was adamant about evolving that Finizen is because it has 50 HP, which makes him a good target for just like a regular old Dusclops. So I did not want that. So you definitely want to protect those Finizens. I'm actually considering dropping one of the 50 HP for a 70 again, just because it's too risky nowadays. Put him back up there, and I want that Terapagos. And now he's going to have to discard again. I probably could have gotten my second Palafin up with a switch and then a subjugating chains. We'll see if that comes back to bite me. It might not. He is kind of bricky right now. He's down to his last card in his hand. We'll see what it is. But that Blood Moon should be about ready to go. Fan Rotom. Okay, there we go. So the Blood Moon should be able to attack. It's only going to do 240, so we should be alright. Now is when the fun begins. So we're going to bench the Munkidori. We're going to slap the Dark on him. We're going to do this, Adrena Brain. Big Brain moves here, Big Brain. Boom, this gets him in range. Now we're going to do Subjugating Chains. We're going to slap you in front. We're going to take you right back. We're going to put you back in here, hit him for 250, and that is the game. That is an example of Munkidori pulling his weight. And that's the game. We did it. We beat Terapagos. GG. Solid game 1. Alrighty, game 2. Let's pick tails. It's heads. Alright, opponent is going first, which isn't the worst thing in the world, 'cause that means we can play Irida. So let's go ahead and get started with our Hisuian Sneasler V. Oh, and we have Arvin too, that's good. Q-Rim, what is this? Is this Regidrago? Ooh, bad start. Bad start. Alright. And we got Finizen. That's perfect. Alright, so let's use Arvin. Let's grab us a Nest Ball and a Rigid Band. That sounds good to me. Let's go Nest Ball for the Pecharunt. Slap on the Energy. Slap on the Rigid Band, and why not? Let's just go ahead and go for the Evolve right away. We are going to need that switch for next turn, just because it throws Sneasler back in the front. So we'll have to switch, then Subjugating Chains, then retreat. But we can make that work. Yikes. Poor guy. Alright, let's go Irida. Let's do this and grab us a switch. Send you to the front. We're going to Subjugating Chains to get Sneasler back in front, which will give us a chance to change into our superhero outfit. We only have one more Palafin. That's lucky that we pulled that. Alright. And yep, that's a concede. Fair enough. Alright, so that was a super quick match, so let's just go right into game 3. Alright, so even though that last one was super quick, I'm going to leave that in because that's an example of a good setup turn. But hopefully this one we can get a better example of the deck working on all cylinders. And have a good match like we did that first one. Perfect. Alright, so with Buddy-Buddy we can grab our other two parts. We just need a Finizen and a Morpeko. We should be alright. This is Roaring Moon. We can take this. He's got less than 250. Alright, let's do it. Let's grab our Finizen and Morpeko. And then let's slap Legacy on, and that should be Can he hit us? You think he can hit us? You know what? I'm gonna take the chance that he can't hit us. And then I'm gonna get Finizen up front. I'm gonna take it a step further. I'm going to guarantee it by giving us another Finizen, just in case he does kill our guy. We still have an option for next turn. Alright, so he's got the Squawk. He got the Pecharunt. That's one energy down. He needs 2 more. Sada's Vitality, he's got 2. Radiant Greninja. Got the booster. Night Stretcher. Probably going to pull back an energy. I don't know if he did or not. Squawk and Seize. And if he gets one more Dark Patch, he's probably going to, let's see, probably going to use Greninja to get another Dark into the, yep, another Dark into the discard. He's going to use Dark Patch. Nope, another Roaring Moon. Does he have the Dark Patch? He's got to. No way he doesn't, right? He doesn't? Alright. That's great. Okay, so let's go ahead and attach that. Let's do this. We want an Ultra Ball. We don't have an Ultra Ball. Okay. That means that we're going to have to do something else. We're going to have to do Forest Seal. And let's do another Buddy-Buddy. Now let's switch. Okay, so we are going to have to bench the Enamorus, unfortunately. And then I'm going to Forest Seal to grab us our Palafin 0 form. Let's do that. Subjugating Chains our Morpeko up to the front. And let's give the smackdown to this Squawkabilly. And that'll put us ahead by 2 prices. Good, good. We can vacuum away the booster capsule now. That's actually perfect. I'm expecting he's going to have some kind of Sada. Oh, yeah, he just got the attach return. Alright. Question is he going to Frenzy Gouging or Calamity Storm? He's probably going to Frenzy Gouging. That's the only sensible option, I would think. I am also going to need Fezandipiti next turn. I can use the Nest Ball for that. So generally I like to promote my Finizens whenever my Palafins go down. On the off chance that I can pull another Palafin 0 form and switch it out, because it's a lot more work if you put, like, for example, Morpeko up to the front, then you have to switch Finizen in and then switch it out and then switch it back in. So it's better just to promote Finizens when you can. So we are going to get a Frenzied Gouging here. so let's do... We don't have Fezandipiti. That's not good. Okay, well then in that case, let's just get our next Finizen set up. Let's vacuum. Yep, let's vacuum. Vacuum away that booster capsule. And then we're gonna Irida. Obviously we want... Should I? Let's give it a shot. Let's see what happens. Do I have anything else? I don't. You know, we don't need anything else, do we? We don't really. Okay. I'm gonna go for this play. Let's do this. Evolve it to the baby Palafin. We're gonna Jet Punch for 30. And then also hit this one. And we get Iona and a Dark Energy. Okay, I can work with this. Look at the top 6 cards, put 2 of them into your hand, discard the others. If he doesn't have a way of attacking this turn, I would be very surprised. Yep, he's got it. The reason why I went for the baby Palafin play rather than the big one is because he could very easily just frenzied gouging my main one and put me in a terrible spot. So this works out a little bit better because at least in order to KO me, he has to discard his own Pokestop. Okay. We're gonna go up with the Finizen. And we get the Palafin. Nice. Okay. Let's see. So let's Vessel. Unfortunately, we're gonna have to get rid of the Dark Energy. I would have liked to be able to attach it to the Pecharunt here, but that is okay. I'm gonna Iono because he's got too many cards. I'm not too comfortable with that. All right, we got 0 to hero, and we're gonna put this guy up. This is unfortunately gonna leave him with 10. But if he does frenzied gouging me, which he's gonna have to, that's gonna kill him. And then I win. So we'll see. We'll see what he does. Uh-oh. Really? No way. How the heck did he get that off the Iono? That's insane, dude. Alright, well, it's not over yet. Because if I can get some 10 more damage on that bench Roaring Moon, I can do something. So let's see what we got. A Night Stretcher. Can we pull this off? Probably not. Let's see, let's get this one. Yep. I don't think it's gonna happen. I can hit it for 60. GG. Alright, so since our game 2 was super short, I'm gonna go ahead and give us a game 4 here. Our Roaring Moon battle was super close, but we ended up losing that one. Opponent here has a Marnie coin. Alright, we're going second again. Again, not too terrible. Yeah, okay, well, we're gonna mulligan. Try that again. Okay. Yep, I know what I've got. Okay, he's got Charizard. We can deal with Charizard. Alright, so we already have 2 of the pieces that we need, so let's go ahead and get Morpeko in front, Pecharunt in the back. He mulliganed again. Alrighty. This guy's probably some kind of degenerate. Oh my god, all the Marnie stuff. Okay. Ooh, got the Duskull. We're gonna want to get our Enamorus up pretty soon. Okay. What can we do? Alright, we don't want that. I am going to bench the Munkidori. Just because I don't want to have to fish for it later. I'm good at all of this. Let's just Iono. Okay, we got what we need. Unfortunately, we can't really do much with the dark energy. So I'm just going to attach that there. And then I'm going to put a Finizen in front. I should have put the other Finizen. 50 HP, because if he is able to evolve into a Dusclops, he can still kill it. We'll see. Collapsed, okay. I can work with that. Ultra Ball, we're dropping a Pidgey and a Buddy-Buddy. I'm gonna oh, okay. Never mind. I was gonna say he probably has the rare candy on hand, but he doesn't. He just has a Charmeleon, which means that our TM Devo is not going to be super helpful here. Good news is my Palafins will probably survive the turn. Or Finizen, sorry. Grasping Draw pulls him to 7. Not too bad. Okay. Arven is perfect. Alright, so let's use Arven. Grab us an Ultra Ball. Actually, Ultra Ball is not really going to do much for us unless we have... I'll tell you what, let's do Ultra Ball and Forest Seal Stone. No, because we don't have any Vs in play. And the collapsed stadium kind of ruins this for us. Yikes. Okay. Vessel. Defiance Band. Alright, let's Vessel, and let's get rid of the Turo. Pull 2 energies. Unfortunately, we're not going to be able to attack this turn. But at least we can protect this Finizen by evolving him. Yeah, that was probably, honestly, the best thing I could do. If he's got the Charizard, he's got the Charizard. That's interesting, though. Panic Mask with Charizard. Definitely taking the first prize here. Nope, nope. He's going after my Palafin. Alright, so fingers crossed that we get something we can use. We cannot use that, unfortunately. Let's toss Defiance Band on there. Yep, this isn't great. I'm gonna boss up the Duskull. Hopefully that gives me another turn. If I attack, I kill it, but I don't think that's worth. I'm just gonna end turn and hope he doesn't have any energy he can switch with. Grand Tree, oh boy. Yep, he can just knock out his own dude. Is he going to use it on the Duskull or the Pidgey? Yeah, that is the right call. Kills the monkey, kills himself. Got Lumineous. Alright, so I can actually do something with the Pecharunt at least. And he comes up with the Charizard and then takes me out. Looking like a lost battle. We just could not get the Pokemon we wanted up, unfortunately. So let's go ahead and... So yeah, let's do the Lumineon. Yep, let's go ahead and Luminous Sign. And let's use that to get Irida. I'm kind of scared to bench this. Let's just hope he doesn't have the Dusclops. Actually, Night Stretcher can do that for us. And then we'll yeah. No, actually, we do need the Finizen. Okay. Yeah. Yep. Yeah, this isn't good. He can win this turn if he's got a Dusclops. Yep, Grand Tree's gonna do it. Oh, he doesn't. He failed it. Alright, so it is a long shot. It's not looking so hot. Let's see what we get. Alright, got Night Stretcher. Oh, wait a minute. I could have used... Can I do that? Well, I could have if I had a Palafin, but I don't. Yeah, so that is one unfortunate thing that I've noticed with this deck is that you almost always prize everything you need, and that kind of is the gig that you get when you play a lot of one-off cards. So if you wanted to play a, you know, 2 of anything that we've done so far, that wouldn't be a terrible option. But yeah, so we prized 2 of our Palafins that turn. And didn't go so good. But there you go. So, quick analysis of how it all went. I think I will be switching back to Prime Catcher. I think Legacy Energy works fine, but there were a lot of moments in there where I feel like a Prime Catcher would have won it for me. I had a lot of unfortunate prizes in these matches, but that does tend to happen when you play this many tech cards. I definitely feel like we were victims of bad luck in some of these matches, but I wouldn't feel good if I cherry-picked only the matches we won. Anyway, if you made it this long, I want to thank you for hanging out with me while I played with some Pokemon cards, and I hope you enjoyed the list. If you have any suggestions to improve it or want me to try out a different list, let me know. I'll see you next time.